Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm going to be playing the fastest medium tank in the game. Arguably you could argue that it's the joint fastest medium tank in the game along with the Leopard 1. However, this vehicle inside the turbo mode has by far the better power to weight ratio. When you activate the turbo mode on this tank, which takes 2 seconds while you're stationary to switch between them, firstly you'll notice that the reticle on the middle of your screen kind of goes up like a big pineapple. Yeah, good luck engaging anything accurately when you're moving inside the turbo mode. If you aim and 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 aim, you will eventually still be just as accurate as you would be outside of it. But inside the turbo, you have incredible power to weight. And with the base speed of this tank in the turbo going up to 70 kilometers an hour, I've added a turbocharger on this tank into the mobility slot for equipment 2.0 to make the top speed of this tank up to 75 kilometers an hour. And that allows me to do things that other tanks just simply could only dream of. And it's been resulting in very influential battles while I've been playing this tank. This tank I love to use to break boring metas of maps. And Erlenberg Assault, what usually happens on this map? The enemies will camp on the position towards my left and they'll camp in the position where the SDB-1 is. But how about when a Polish berserker medium tank rushes over a river, down into a dip, cuts apart the auto-loading medium tank, and then also does the same thing to the tier 10 Japanese medium tank, the SDB-1, which I think probably is still the most powerful tier 10 medium tank in the game at the moment. Just because something's powerful doesn't mean that it's fast, doesn't mean that it's furious, doesn't mean that it's exciting to play. And as I'm getting a little bit long in the tooth playing World of Tanks, faster is really enjoyable for me because I can use my mobility to be able to outplay my opponents. I can make risky plays. I don't really want to just sit on a corner, side scrape and grind my opponents out. I've done that a million times, and I think the frenetic action of the CS63 has been really scratching an itch recently. So now that we've managed to help our team cut through the western flank, it's time once again to use the top speed limit of the tank to be able to advance across a gap which lots of players would think would be not able to progress across. This is an absolute choke point on this map. Trying to get from the location here that you see the bat chat has taken all the way across here into the little safety alcove that we're using is an absolute pain in the backside. However, when you're able to go at 75 kilometers an hour, but more impressively with an incredible power to weight ratio, you can make those plays. You can progress across the choke points without actually taking damage, or maybe you might take some, but you're not going to exactly lose the entire tank. And that allows this vehicle to do absolutely wild and wacky things. We've cut through the west, we've cut through the north of this map now as well, and now we're about to progress in towards the enemy base. I'm thinking that if I can get over here, attack the enemy artillery, and then maybe I can assist this western advance that you can see coming along the 4 and 5 line right now. And that E100, this is a top tier tank inside a +2 matchup. He's going to be an absolute pain to dig out, but hopefully I'm going to be able to help my team to be able to do so. Now, of course, the speed that this vehicle has is accompanied by actually having better armor than the Leopard 1 has. However, you do have to make quite a few sacrifices compared to the Leopard 1 to be able to gain this extra power to weight inside the turbo mode, and importantly, to be able to gain the extra speed and the power to weight inside it. And that is that you have to sacrifice the gun handling on this tank, especially when you want to use the speed of the vehicle. Remember, inside the turbo mode, this vehicle only goes as fast as the Leopard, although its power to weight will allow it to be able to get up to that speed much more rapidly, and able to keep up to that 70 or 75 kilometer an hour top speed limit up slope even. However, you're sacrificing aim time, you're sacrificing lots of gun handling as well, but your DPM in the vehicle is actually very nice. While you have slightly less alpha damage than the Leopard does, your rate of fire is significantly better, which actually gives you a slight damage per minute advantage. And I found that the CS63, when you equip it with vents, with a gun rammer, and with the turbo as well, is actually pretty darn powerful. Now, of course, you're going to have to sacrifice quite a few aspects of the vehicle if you want to try and equip it like that. Firstly, your view range is not going to be very good, unless, like me, you're playing on your main account and you're using premium consumables. You have recon, you have situational awareness, and also, you're probably using bond or bounty vents on the tank. Bond or bounty vents are one of the best ways to be able to replace the coated optics on your top tier vehicles. Unlike the Leopard, however, this vehicle doesn't have 410 meters base view range, and so you do sacrifice a little bit of that long-range spotting capacity if you want to set the vehicle up like that, but boy, the speed. Boy, the fact that when you're fully aimed, you're more accurate with those vents, and you've still got maxed out DPM on the vehicle. Of course, you can't be quite so reactive. This isn't a tier 10 medium tank where you're going to be clutch shotting everything. I feel like it's a very interesting way to play the vehicle, however, and I've been having some impressive statistics in the tank. I think winning about 70% of my battles in my first 100 games in the tank solo, and that's something that I'm not achieving in any of my other tier 10 medium tanks. And I attribute that to just the raw speed that the vehicle has, while still having enough statistics in all of the other areas, if of course you compensate by using all of the advantages that I've just mentioned on the tank. So right now, the game's still pretty close. We're actually down by 3 tanks there until we manage to snipe the EBR-90, and that's a massive result because that means that hopefully my Batchat 25T is going to get a moment of respite to reconsolidate his position and then hopefully try to flank the T110E3. However, I think it's time to keep the pressure up. Can I trust my T69 and my Tiger to hold that situation? Yeah, not for long, especially if I allow this 252U into there to shoot into the back of the Tiger too. Luckily for me, it looks like the 252U is firing high explosive rounds, and you'll see that I always leave the turbo out of line of sight, then come round when we're going to have better gun handling, and we're able to clutch shot the 252U's tracks there. Lock him in place, and he's still looking for a shot on the T69 around the corner. I don't think the player quite realizes that it's actually a CS63 locking him down, and just like that, we do 1,100 damage to the tier 8 heavy tank. Now we've got to deal with an Indian Panzer here. We lock down the tracks, put a round in, and I'm going to try and push the front of my tank up there in that position to try and use the frontal armor of the vehicle. You can see the gun handling, definitely not the best there without vertical stabilizers, but I've got to be aggressive. I've got to attack. I'm looking possibly for the Leopard prototype. He actually shoots me in the side, but I decided to cross the gap and fight this Indian Panzer. Now that I know that the Leopard's going to be coming round, well, I've got some hit points here. As long as I can manage to fall back and shoot that Leopard, we should be okay. Now back to the Indian Panzer. Oh wait, an LHMTV appears as well. Well, why don't I kill him as well and then turn my attention back to the Indian Panzer, keeping my frontal armor towards him. We managed to bounce one round, but now the Indian Panzer's firing gold. But we can see with eagle eye from my commander skill that he's ammo-racked, and I was jumping for joy thinking I'm going to get the Radley Walters medal for my 8th kill. Oh, Mr. Batchat, we meet again. Well, to be fair, the Batchat should have secured the kill there, but pesky Bat stole that 8th kill and the Radley from us at tier 10, which I definitely would have absolutely enjoyed having. It would have been my first on the CS63, but it's early days for the tank yet. I'm sure there will be more medals along the way. And covered in oranges like some tangerine dream, we managed to... I guess we kind of didn't have to leave them out for Santa Claus. I guess we had them all on our vehicle, which made us extra lucky inside this battle, right? Yeah, not sure I can really pull that one off. But one thing I did manage to pull off here, yeah, with the Batchat as well, is a classic carry of World of Tanks, managing to cut down 11 tanks between the 2 top-tier medium vehicles. And really, again, I attribute the ability to be able to be in the combat, to be able to pick up that 8,000 damage that we dealt inside this game for the CS63 to the mobility, while also still not sacrificing the damage output of the vehicle. And also a little bit of armor, just enough armor. When you're in a matchup like this, that armor can be very useful indeed. Your turret armor is not incredible on the vehicle, but your mantlet is decent. And you see how well angled the upper hull is? If you can manage to tilt that upper hull up while still managing to hide the lower plate, although let's be honest, it is a very chonky lower plate. This thing has been one of my favorite medium tanks in the game recently. However, of course, it's very easy to fall in love with something when it's fresh, when it's new, when it's exciting. Whether this vehicle's still, well, I'm still going to feel the same way about the vehicle in a few months remains to be seen. But at least for now, I'm truly enjoying my CS63, and I'm looking forward, now that I finally finished the free-to-play marathon last night. It was a hard one this time to be able to get through it, to getting back onto my main account and playing all of the vehicles with all of the crew skills, all of the time that I've invested into it, all of the credit advantages that I can manage to muster with premium consumables as well, and taking this thing out onto the battlefield tonight. So our speed and aggression managed to break the campy Erlenberg assault meta. An absolute pleasure to be able to go over there and to carve up those 2 auto-loading vehicles early on in the game. And with the bat chat, yeah, 8,200 damage here, 7 kills, 1,383 base experience points, manages to get us an ace tanker, pretty much when this vehicle was new. And we also get a high caliber and a tank sniper medal as well. Although I do admit I fired a lot of gold rounds during this game. Very fitting that I'm wearing my Load the Gold t-shirt, of course. Did I need to fire all of them? Probably not. Do they provide a tremendous advantage on this tank when you have not the best accuracy and you don't have the best gun handling with the setup that I've decided to invest on the vehicle? Yes, they do. And let's be honest, in a game like this, one bounce when it's completely down to the skin of your teeth with your hit points at the end of the battle could have been catastrophic. Does the vehicle need to be played like this? No. But does it help? Yeah, I think every tank is going to admit that. So all in all, the CS63, is it absolutely, utterly the best medium tank for everybody to be able to race towards? No, it really isn't. However, is it jaw-breakingly fast? And it will definitely have a lot of thrills for any players out there who love speed to the max and are thoughtful and conscientious in the way that they will use their armor. Yes, it will. So if you're the kind of player who loves speed and aggression to dominate the battlefield, but unlike the Leopard, wants to have a little bit of armor to be able to sometimes get through with the risky plays, yeah, give it a go. You might find it some fun. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for today. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, give it a thumbs up. But if you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it's released on Sunday, it's time for the World of Tanks Tech Tree Showcase right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And this week, seeing how the Panzer VII just became top of the tree, or to the top, I believe it's called, or on track on the American server, then I'm going to be featuring it. So come along as I play through vehicles like the Tiger P, i.e. the Tiger that I think takes away a percentage of my soul every time I play the vehicle. Also, the mother-in-law, the VK4502, why I'm be calling that the mother-in-law, well, you're going to have to tune in. I don't have time to explain here. But also, we're going to be ending it up with a nice midpoint of between the mouse, between the E100, the Panzer VII. So come along, hear my full opinion, and see the entire tech tree that you're probably going to be grinding up this month. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.